Welcome back to the channel, folks. I hope you can hear me. My external mic broke, so turn up the volume or use some earphones. Today I'm going to talk about the solution, diagnosis and solution to the no start problem on my HS55 Honda Snowblower. We posted about this the other day, and it took a while, but we figured it out. What was embarrassing to me is that this is my machine and I just serviced it last month. And the other day I took it out and I couldn't get it started. And of course I went through all the usual suspects. You know, I always say check the simple things first. We have over 200 videos on the channel to help you. We have a lot of videos on no start issues, which is one of the most common questions. And I always say, check the simple things first. Like, make sure the key's on. Make sure the gas is on. Make sure the gas is in the tank. You know, you might laugh, but this solves a lot of the problems when your Honda won't start. And after a long layoff, you might have forgotten to do one of those things, or it might be something else. But what I always recommend for you veterans that have been watching these videos, keep it simple. Check the simple things first. Go down the line from the simplest to the more problematic reasons why you have an issue. Like it could be no fuel, or the key's not on, like I mentioned. But once you've gone through the simple things, then you go you go down the list. You don't start tearing the machine apart. Like, you need 3 basic things for a Honda Snowblower to start. You need fuel, you need spark, and you need compression. Now, somebody in the world, there's 8 billion people in the world, somebody will say, hey Anthony, you need timing too. It has to be timed correctly. Well, that's like a 1 in a million. In Hondas, it's very, very rare for the key to be sheared on the flywheel. So people will say, I see it all the time online, oh, you got a sheared key on the flywheel. So people are taking their engine apart to see. They're not checking the simple things first, okay? That's what I'm talking about. So you want to check them. And what I did for this machine, it was driving me crazy. I went online. I said, man, what am I missing on this? It's got spark. It has fuel. It has spark. I checked that. I even changed the plug to make sure. And I made sure that there was fuel in the carburetor by opening up the drain plug. And then I actually took the bowl off and checked the fuel flow to make sure that it was flowing well. So I've got the basics. So why won't it start? And so I'm gonna park it. I parked it for a couple hours, or maybe the next day. I said, all right, I'll check this out again, try to figure it out. So what happened with my machine, there was 2 little clues that I ignored at first. And you don't want to ignore clues like what I did. You know, I just assumed that everything. I just serviced this machine. It started and ran great last month. Well, what happened was when I was taking the plug out, before I took the plug out, I decided to remove the muffler, which is only 2 little nuts. I wanted to remove the muffler so it was easier for me to replace the plug. And when I took the muffler off, a couple drops of water came out of it. Well, at the time I didn't think much about it because it's been raining. Even though my machine's been covered in the back, you know, with the tarp and tied down and everything, I said, yeah, we had some rain last week, some heavy rains and heavy winds. That shouldn't be a problem. The thing was tarped. but there was a couple drops of water that came out of the muffler. And I started thinking about that. And I said, well, let me check the oil. So I checked the oil, and the oil on the stick was nice and clear because I had just changed it. But I decided to drain the oil, which only takes a few minutes. I drained the oil, and there were some white spots in the oil. And when I had taken the bowl off the carburetor, I noticed a little bit of water at the bottom of the carburetor bowl. Now I could tell because it looks like jelly. It looks like a little jelly bean, and that's water. And I said, I looked in the tank. I didn't see any water in the tank, but that doesn't make any difference. There was a little bit of water in the carburetor. So if you got water in the fuel, it's not going to start, or it's going to be very, very difficult to start. And I had the white spots in the oil. That means water. So what I did was I flushed out the crankcase with oil, with old oil, and then I changed the oil, and then I drained the tank of all the gas, every bit of it I could get. I siphoned it out, and then I opened up the drain on the drain plug on the carburetor bowl to get every last bit of fuel out of it. Then I put new fuel in it with fuel stabilizer, and it started right up. So that was the culprit. The high winds had blown some rainwater into the muffler. Now the exhaust valve was probably open, okay? So you got water going into the muffler, you've got water bleeding over into the cylinder, and then draining past the rings into the oil. And probably the same thing happened with the fuel tank. Maybe some water leaked into the fuel tank and got into the fuel. Now I've already, like I said before, I checked all the easy things. I had the spark, I had the fuel, I had the compression. And in this case, it was very unusual. I've seen this happen before because people leave their machines outside all summer long or all winter long, and water can get into the fuel and then get into the oil, even if it's tarped. So there you go, folks. That's the diagnosis and solution. Please like and subscribe if these videos helped you in the past, or this video helps you. Please subscribe to the channel. You'll get notification on our newest videos. So thanks a lot for watching, folks. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. Thank you.